Sir Hundal, let's start with you. I mean, he says he's deeply sorry. He wants to give up his knighthood and give a sizable chunk of his pension back. At least he's trying. You have to give him that.
Well, I think most people would say that if you're the head of a company which has been accused now of gross negligence, went under when no one knew what was going on in the company, they didn't have any control, and they had to be bailed out by the public to the tune of £20 billion, and that's our money. So, there is not just an issue of him saying sorry, it's an issue of how has the banking industry got to this stage where they don't even have control of their own companies, and they're running such massive organizations that we are forced to bail them out when something goes wrong. And then those are the bigger questions that we have to ask. OK,
Mark Littlewood, I mean, he's going to have to live on £400,000 a year instead of £580,000. It's hardly going to be a hardship for him, is it?
Oh, no, James Crosby is a rich man. He will continue to be a rich man. I'm pretty sure he would be a rich man even if he gave up 100% of his pension.
And a rich man at the expense of whom, do you think? Taxpayers? How many people
lost their job?
Well,
Sonny has a point. The taxpayer has bailed out this industry. What I think is important here is that an individual is taking some responsibility himself. Sonny's right that we perhaps need the authorities to look into this. If there's any suggestion of a criminal offence, for example, these people should be prosecuted. But this man, of his own accord, of his own bat, is actually showing a degree of contrition. If only this applied, for example, in our public sector as well. If Sir David Nicholson, for example, was offering to surrender his knighthood after what's happened at the Mid Staffordshire Hospital, that would be a welcome move in my view. I think this is a step. I think we should applaud James Crosby for taking it. If there are any further rules or regulations that he's broken, he should obviously be punished for them.
OK,
but I think individual contrition should be applauded.
Right, so applause there. What would you like to see happen to James Crosby? Should he be prosecuted? Should he go to jail, do you think?
Well, no, I think that Mark is right in that we have to look at if there were any laws being broken. But I do think there is a bigger issue here, which is...
What would you do? What would you do as punishment for him, then?
What would I have done? I would have barred him from taking another position as a CEO of any company in the future, because any company should be thinking, why should we employ this person as a CEO when he didn't even know what was going on in his bank? Mark,
do you think that's a good idea? Should he be barred for being the boss of any company in the future?
I think that Sonny's been rather unclear there whether this is a publicly listed company. I mean, if you ban him from being a CEO, that also bans him from setting up his own company as a director. He should certainly be allowed to do that, and it would be up to us whether we wish to trade with him or not. So I don't think you can ban him from being a CEO. If he wishes to set up his own enterprise, then people can decide whether to trade with him.
What kind of punishment would you inflict on him?
I'm not sure I would inflict any further punishment. I think that we've got the structure of banking completely wrong. It is ridiculous that the state and the taxpayer are bailing out failed enterprises. We've got to stop that. But if we are able to stop that and make sure that there isn't a bailout of 20 billion or even more for these failed enterprises, then it's up to the shareholders and the banks themselves what they pay people.
OK.
And I think we should give him credit for what he's done today.
Mark Littlewood and Sir Hundal, thank you very much for your time tonight.